watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
President Trump announcing a new round of tariffs for 60 countries. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Tosin Fakile in for Annalisa Gale. Trump calling it Liberation Day. It's a baseline 10% tariffs on imports from foreign countries. He made that announcement in the Rose Garden at the White House just moments ago.
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. It's our declaration of economic independence.
That 10% tariff goes into effect Friday. The president also announced a 25% tariff on foreign-made cars. That goes into effect 12:01 a.m. tomorrow.
And Tosin, those tariffs causing concern for a lot of small business owners across the district and across the country.
And that includes Cork Wine Bar and Market on 14th Street Northwest in the district. And that's where we find our Marielle Carbone. She's joining us live there. Marielle, what can you tell us now that announcement has dropped?
Yeah, well, Tosin, the owners here, they worry that these types of tariffs, they won't just devastate or impact their wine bar here, but all small businesses across the district. As costs raise to purchase products, it in turn raises the cost to sell those products.
This wine would probably go up to about $50 on the shelf if it was a 200% tariff.
For husband and wife Khaled Pitts and Diane Gross, impending tariffs, whether 200 or 20%, will take a hit on business, raising costs for them and in turn the customer.
What's the worst case scenario?
We shut down.
The couple owns Cork Wine Bar and Market, selling mostly European wine.
One of the things we've built a reputation on is having high-quality wine at value prices.
They say the last few weeks have been a roller coaster as they try and prepare for what's to come.
Trying to get a grasp on it. What does it mean? Is there any way to sort of stock up or pre-buy?
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day.
Wednesday, President Donald Trump announcing sweeping reciprocal tariffs or taxes on foreign goods.
Well, that means they do it to us and we do it to them.
Plus,
we will impose a 25% tariff on all foreign-made automobiles.
The goal is to boost manufacturing and free the U.S. of reliance on foreign goods. But critics argue the tariffs will lead to a trade war and raise costs for middle America.
Well, I don't know who's being liberated.
In response, Maryland Senator Angela Also-Brooks introducing the Tariff Transparency Act.
What we're asking is the International Trade Commission to tell us the impact of these tariffs on every part of our society.
If small businesses are in jeopardy, the whole chain is in jeopardy, right?
And Gross says she's not only concerned about the impact this has on the physical cost of doing business, but also on the supply chain with some foreign countries and manufacturers nervous to ship their goods across the water because of the uncertainty here in the United States. Reporting live in Northwest, I'm Marielle Carbone at DC News Now.
Marielle, thank you. And coming up in our next half hour, we will head to Capitol Hill with reaction from lawmakers.
All right, Tosin, taking a live look at the National Cathedral. You can see the clouds are still hovering in the region, but you said it, the day got nicer. I'm not complaining.
I'm not, but like we need more sun. So will we see it? Well, let's head on over to meteorologist Scott Sumner, who's in for Damon Matson, who will be in our later shows. So Scott, will the sun make an appearance at some point later this week?
Some sunshine, right? Sun sets at 7:33. We hopefully see a couple of rays of sunshine. Right now we're not. We're seeing overcast skies, 58 degrees, clouds around. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have a pretty cloudy day overall and night as well, although it looks to be dry here in the DMV. As far as temperatures are concerned, you can see throughout the 12-hour period, pretty much into the 50s here in the district until we get to 5 a.m. and then we're back into the 60s for tomorrow. Tomorrow, if we're already starting out in the 60s at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know it's going to be a fairly mild afternoon. Rainfall totals here over the last 5 days have shown everywhere from about 1/4 of an inch up to nearly 1 inch of rain. Well, I show you this because we're still under a drought situation, a moderate to severe drought in places. We need more rain. And it looks like we're going to get some over the next several days here, even though it will be hit and miss. So again, a few scattered storms, warm Thursday after a morning here, and on Thursday of some clouds and just overnight warmth or mild air. Scattered showers on Friday, and a cold front eventually arrives Sunday night. We'll talk about that in full effect with the full weather coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Scott, we'll check in with you soon. Safety changes are coming to Reagan National Airport. The Federal Aviation Administration making the announcement this afternoon.
Yeah, the FAA says it's increasing support and oversight for D.C.'s air traffic controller team. And that all follows as a fight inside of the airport's air traffic control tower last week involving an FAA employee who is now on leave. The FAA says that a stress management team will visit the airport in the coming days to support staff following several stressful events. The agency will also conduct wellness checks at the airport.
And that's not all. The FAA is also taking other actions at DCA, adding 2 additional operational supervisors, reviewing controller staffing numbers, and looking into DCA arrivals, something the FAA says is disproportionately concentrated to the last 30 minutes of each hour.
Meantime, former U.S. Institute of Peace employees, well, they're sounding the alarm over what they're calling illegal firings by the Department of Government Efficiency.
And much of the organization's 300 staffers are now out of a job. DC News Now's Liberty Simmons is live in Northwest DC with how they are fighting back. Liberty.
Well, Tosin and Mark, these former USIP employees say they plan to fight back through the courts. Now, today they've been given 15-minute allotments to enter the building here, gather their belongings, and leave.
A little bit of shock, a little bit of resignation, a little bit of anger.
Former USIP employees got a show of support outside the building as they gathered their belongings for the last time.
We are a private, independent, nonprofit corporation under the DC jurisdiction, so we thought that that would give us protection. It did not, so we're angry, we're confused.
This comes after DOJ fired much of their 300-person staff last Friday. Former USIP President George Moose even tried to block DOJ employees from gaining entry into the building. Moose was later fired, and DOJ employees gained access into USIP Monday night.
This is what DOJ and this administration is facing. It's a resistance from bureaucrats who don't want to see change in this city. President Trump was elected on an overwhelming mandate to seek change and implement change, and this is unacceptable behavior.
A hearing on the fate of USIP in the U.S. District Court revealed the USIP building was also transferred to the General Services Administration. These employees argue their firings are illegal because USIP is not a government agency, but a nonprofit funded by Congress to resolve conflicts overseas.
We still have great faith and hope that the courts will decide and recognize our status as an independent institution. They could have done it the right way if they wanted to. They did not.
And these former employees say that they've been given until April 7th to clear out their desks here. Meanwhile, their overseas staff have been given till April 9th to return to the U.S. For now, live here in Northwest D.C., Liberty Simmons, DC News Now.
All right, Liberty, thank you. An update tonight. Roads have reopened after a fire at a pizza shop in Arlington on Wilson Boulevard. It happened this morning. Fire officials say that it started in the oven, then through the exhaust duct and ceiling. No one was hurt. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
To Virginia, where the state parks are years behind on inspections. That is according to a state audit report released in March. According to that report, maintenance needs worth more than $360 million have been delayed due to resource constraints. The Department of Conservation and Recreation, which manages Virginia's 43 state parks, blames the delays on inflation and a lack of consistent, dedicated, and meaningful funding. The audit recommends the department establish requirements for when inspections should happen and create a more comprehensive way to report and track park maintenance.
Well, most people just think of professional baseball as just the players and coaches on the field, yet there's a whole different ball game off of it.
And DC News Now's Dave Laval joins us now, showing us how the Washington Nationals are trying to get some DC public school students to join the team.
How do you have outlets outside of the workplace?
Evan Weinstein seeks information in a place known for it, the interview room at Nationals Park. The senior at Jackson Reed High School is considering a career in sports management after college.
My dream job eventually will be to end up as a general manager or president of operations for a sports team.
Everything in red is a home game.
Weinstein joined other DC public students at the stadium Wednesday for the second annual Career in Sports Day, an extension of the monthly Nats Prep program. It introduces students to the sports, tourism, and hospitality industry.
There's a lot of different avenues here. Not everyone has a sports administration degree. I've got a psych degree, and here I am.
Challenge that maybe I faced in my career is...
Students learned about the different careers in professional sports from those that already perform those jobs. Career Day is part of the school district's Career and Technical Education Programs, or CTE. The program has basically doubled in size over the last 10 years and now involves 43% of all DC public school students. Students like Shanti Osborne found another reason to head out to the ballpark.
And I feel like just me getting experience and talking to other people sitting in the jobs I may do one day with my degree definitely is very enriching.
Perfect. Good job.
Students won prizes and something more, a possible career. At Nationals Park, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, thank you. 5:11 is your time. A week after Maryland was knocked out of the NCAA tournament in the Sweet 16 round, head coach Kevin Willard leaving the program to take a job at Villanova. There's now a new buzz on campus.
No, that buzz indeed. The University of Maryland men's basketball program has a new head coach, Buzz Williams. Williams was introduced today, and he spoke about taking over in College Park after the roller coaster ride the program has been on.
What's transpired the last 10 days, honestly, I can't speak to because I wasn't here. But I also don't want to critique or judge Coach Willard. They went to the Sweet 16. He's doing a lot of good things. But going forward, we'll have to diagnose how we can create some sustainability. And the only thing that I can say is we'll try real hard and we'll give our absolute best as personally and professionally.
And tune in to Game Night tonight at 11 p.m. for sports anchor reporters Brandy Flores' one-on-one conversation with the new head coach, Buzz Williams.
Yes.